right, 6:02. This is a special meeting, the Elliott County Fiscal Court, December 14, 2021. This will be a special meeting, as the regular meeting would be the week of Christmas, and I just felt like it'd be best for all involved. All magistrates present except Chris Dickerson. Thank you, magistrates, for coming. I appreciate your time. Ladies, thank you all. Johnny, thank you.
So we will be canceling the regular meeting.
Yes, there will not be a regular meeting in December.
That's the purpose of this meeting, right?
That is correct. Number two, comments from citizen special guest discussion with myself regarding the recent storms. Jim was on a Zoom call today with KYEM and some of the folks in Frankfurt. I was actually here with a plumber and with a technician to help with some other issues we had in the courtroom or in the courthouse. So Jim sat in on that call. And in that call, they're talking like right now they're doing great down there as far as having water, cleaning supplies, toiletries, toilet paper, paper towels. What they're saying is in the next few weeks, whenever they start to run out, those are going to need to be replenished. What they want to advise against is sending right now clothing. An example that was given to me was if Elliott County has 3,000 structures and 2 bags of clothes coming from each one of those structures, and it's sent to Western Kentucky, you then have 6,000 bags of clothes sitting outside waiting on someone to sort and hand out those clothes. Those clothes then potentially end up in a dumpster and gone to the landfill. Things that can be used are your toilet paper, your paper towel. They can put them in a warehouse in a school. And they're quicker to grab without sorting. They know what it is, and they can send it water, gallon of water, bottle of water. Cleaning supplies, your bleaches and some of your disinfectants. Those are things that they would take openly. Several counties were affected. Tomorrow I have a call with the governor at 9 a.m. or 9:30, and he's going to update us further. Some of the counties that were hit the hardest, obviously Graves County was leveled, the city of Mayfield. You've got Caldwell, Fulton, Graves, Hart, Hopkins, Marshall, Muhlenberg, Taylor, and Warren counties that seem to have suffered the lion's share of what went down. Some of the things, as I said, that they need down there or will need, toys for Christmas, unwrapped. They will not accept wrapped toys, those will be tossed. They have to see what it is if you decide to do something like that. Water, toiletries, generators, gas and fuel cards, monetary donations. They need cash. They need cash to spend to get other things in there to make things happen. They have banks set up that you can make your donation to. You don't have to make your donation to me. You don't have to make your donation to a magistrate. If you want to donate to the Elliott County Fiscal Court, we will make sure and we will give you a receipt that your money is spent properly to these funds. They are going to need it down there. They're going to need long-term needs will be housing and lodging, road department needs, 2 to 4 dump trucks, flaggers, people to cut debris. Sound familiar? Cleaning supplies, personal hygiene products, and monetary. So cleaning supplies, personal hygiene products. You're probably thinking some feminine needs are probably needed down there. Again, your toilet paper. I would almost go to say if they had diapers, that'd probably be a great help for babies, infants. But if you want to give us a call at the office starting tomorrow, we will accept those things. Please don't do clothing at this time. Give us some time on that. Jim, Skaggs, and myself have decided that week after next, the week after Christmas, we're going to load up and we're going to drive down to one of those counties. Mayfield is just tugging at everybody. But those other counties, they got hit hard too. Everyone has family and friends down in that area. We have a resident or two that I know that used to live in Elliott County that now live in Bowling Green. And they saw they told me that they made it through, but they had some neighbors that did not. So if you want to start sending things, I would say give us a call tomorrow at 738-5826. The week after Christmas, Jim and I will load up and we'll take a load of the things we just mentioned that way. If you want to donate money, we can take your money. I would rather give you the place to send your money. That way you can track your money yourself, not through me. But I promise you, if the money comes to me, I'm gonna make sure that it gets to the right party. That's where I'm at with that. Again, I'll know more when I have the conversation with the governor tomorrow. We have a Zoom in the morning and we'll know. Johnny, if you want to talk about what we were talking about before we began the meeting, we can, or we can move forward.
I've heard from the powers that be, the answer is it's admirable, but I'm not sure it passes constitutional muster. I wouldn't do it without getting DLG and the auditor's blessing.
All right, we'll roll.
But I mean, that may be something I can call wherever we may need tomorrow, to see if we can get that done.
Well, we'll make sure that we start collecting things tomorrow at the office, and then we'll get that question answered, and we'll come back to that. All right, I think I'm comfortable in knowing that we're going to get enough of those things in here in the next little bit with the phone calls we've been getting and the information that I've received. Donations alone, I think the county would be, magistrates, would you be okay if we took county vehicles and we drove those vehicles with donated items to Western Kentucky and then returned in the county vehicles? Would you be okay with that?
Make a motion that we do so.
Okay.
Second.
So I've got a motion from Dewey and a second from Cheyenne. Is there any further discussion there? All right, with that said, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. Number one, approve the sheriff's 2022 budget. Brittany handed that in person to me and I delivered it. I think you should have it. Brittany, did you have something you want to throw in on that? No? Okay.
The only thing that really changed with salaries was Mary Pam Pennington went up to $10 earlier in the year. And tonight I'm hoping to get approved for Chris McMahon and Ronnie O'Neill to go up to 10. They were certified this past Friday.
You put that in your budget, Brady?
Yeah,
It's
So
there.
it's already in there?
it's there in the budget right now. There's 3 at $10 and 3 at 9.
Thank you. Make a motion?
Second.
A motion by Dewey, was second by Emily. Is there any further discussion? That said, all in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Number three, approve Walker Crace as the Elliott County School Resource Officer and part-time sheriff's deputy.
No, back up.
Wait a minute, missed one.
Oh, okay, number two. Approve Chris McMahon and Ronnie O'Neill's dollar raise.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dewey, was second
Didn't even
by.
ask if they needed it or not.
I was gonna ask why they were getting it, I'm kinda curious.
They went through training, and that was the dollar raise.
I put their certificate.
I guess the question would be, did they have a lot of time in
Well,
6 months and
and gone through the training here, so.
Yeah, once they-
You have that, Brian?
Yeah, once you go through the training, we agree to give them their dollar raise. Okay. I was just asking.
Is that the normal procedure though, that once they get the training, they get the raise, is that in our?
It's in
Yeah.
the.
That's what was initially the incentive for them to get their training, their certification, was to give them that dollar raise. Was going to be an initiative for them to do that in order to earn the dollar, is for them to go complete the course. So that's what they basically done. That's what, if I understood it, the way it was.
That's the way we spelled it out in the action.
Right, yeah, that's the way it was spelled out in Athens.
Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye, please. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now, number three, I apologize, guys. Walker, I was just trying to get you on the program. Approve Walker Crace as the Elliott County School Resource Officer and part-time Sheriff's Department. Walker has been hired by the Board of Education, which, as you know, runs through, his salary will run through our budget amount, be reimbursed through the Board of Education. Sheriff Kraft has approached me about Walker doing some other work for Elliott County when he's not working for the school system. And if I understand right, this would be weeks off of school. He would be a patrolman or serve at the sheriff's discretion of our county. And then in the summer, when there isn't a school program or the school is not in session, then Deputy Crace would also serve at the sheriff's discretion. We've set aside, I think we talked about it, we've set aside to pay him a salary, a part-time salary based on that, up until June 30th of 2021 to finish out this fiscal year. We will then work to see what we can do in the next fiscal year for Deputy Crace, working at the
So
sheriff's discretion.
You've got it in the budget already?
We have found monies through the 911 account that was from the general fund, not money that came to the 911 account, because you can't, but it was general fund money that was there for the 911 account. With 911 account going phase 2, they have started receiving their own money. This money was set aside as a just-in-case for them. And by them going phase 2 and already receiving pay, and we had money from the CARES Act that carried over, this money would be available as an additional compensation for Deputy Crace. Once he begins work for the county, he would be dual roles. He would serve the school system primary, serve the sheriff in the county secondary.
So when you do the budget in the spring, you're gonna budget that in?
We will build a budget in more of the same for Deputy Crace to go into. If he and the sheriff, or it's something they still both want, then yeah.
Introduce yourself, son.
For those of you who don't know, my name's Walker Grace. I'm not sick, by the way. I don't know my allergies. I'm originally from Wolf County. I was raised in Morgan County, Council City. I was a sheriff's deputy there at 17, 18, going into 19. And I went to the Richmond Police Department, where I was there for a couple of years. Pulled a short stint with the Madison County Sheriff's Office on my way coming back to Morgan County. 26 years old, no kids, 4 siblings. My father's a retired state trooper. He worked at Morgan and Elliott. He also worked Wolf Pal. My mother's a nurse in Lexington. This is all I've ever done since I was 21. So I think I'm pretty good at my job. Do pretty good at the school and the kids. But I also do really good on the road. Outside of that, for your high drug areas, trying to keep things calm, keep peace. So.
I must say that we've already been kind of co-working at school, and it's been a huge difference. The atmosphere between the kids, just having his presence there at school, has been awesome.
Outstanding.
It's been
You
great.
make that motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
So, can you suspend your motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion.
In doing this, we also need to set a rate of pay for Deputy Crace.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, thank you. You guys have to set a rate of pay for him. What Crystal and I put to make it an even playing field with the other deputy, Deputy Bramble, is $18 an hour. $18 an hour gets it to right at where Deputy Bramble is. And that, I think, we carved out.
Well, after
Okay, yeah, because with Deputy Crace, there's also the retirement factor. And with that said, total compensation is going to be around $10,000. And that's for starting right now until the end of the fiscal year. So you're at max $18 an hour. The budgeted amount that we put in there was to $10,000. If you guys are, and ladies are in agreement.
Well, that was the question I was gonna ask, was if he's full-time for the school, is he just gonna be part-time for working for the county?
Well, it depends on how you look at it, because where he will be full-time for the school, he doesn't have to be part-time or full-time for the county, because he's not going to reach that threshold working those hours. You see what I'm saying? If he works 3 weeks in a month for a school and then works 1 week of that month for us, he's not reaching a full-time status.
Well, that's where I was gonna go with that.
Well, when we go into the next fiscal year, then we can take a look at it and see where that
What
shakes
about
out.
the time frame when the school is out? Does he work full-time then?
It's so many weeks within a period, right? He's asking, would he be in a full-time status it's school, when school is out between the month, the next to the last week of May. School's out probably.
If it goes off for quarters, you should be all right. Because
Yeah, it would only be 1 month, he would actually be patrolling and working
Yeah.
as sheriff.
July and August.
Well, July and August would fall into the next
Next
fiscal year.
quarter, yeah,
So
or
that
next
would be
year.
Yeah.
we will talk about that probably in May when we go to the next fiscal year.
Because, I mean, this July will carry over plumb through the year, so that's why I'm asking that question. Just because he works a month now, doesn't mean that in that fiscal year, he won't work another month.
But he won't be working in July in this fiscal year.
I understand that.
You've.
Well, I'm assuming he's gonna stay on this job continually.
Yes.
He's not just gonna work in between there. If you start July 1 and works the month of July and then goes for the school, coming at the end of that fiscal year, if school is out May the 1st, then you've got May and June.
They were never out May the first.
Last
Well,
May.
I'm using an example.
Yeah.
You know, there's potential of being another full-time month in that time. So that's 2 months. Does that rate him then to the full-time scale or what?
He'd only really have
Not if he's
one
not if
month.
he's
That
not
would be
utilized.
It
June.
goes off for quarters.
Yeah, but he just worked off of July, the starting of the fiscal year.
For retirement purposes, which he'll be doing retirement anyway.
Yeah, that's part of
Between the
it.
school and us, he will be.
So that's the only question I was asking, is because he starts in the middle of the school year, there in July, that year still continues on around into the end of June of the next year. That same following year is the fiscal year.
For retirement purposes, he will be considered a full-time employee for the Elliott County Fiscal.
Okay, that's what I was talking
Now,
about.
as far as how we do the holidays and stuff, I mean, if he works the holiday, we have it in our admin code, anyone who works a holiday gets paid their holiday hours plus the hours they work. So I don't really think he'd be affected by that either, so.
I don't have a problem with that, just bringing it up.
So do you need me to be specific?
Well, did you have something down?
No.
Oh, okay. You stood up.
So if he works for the school 5
Okay,
days.
typically when somebody stands up,
Down,
there's
down.
something about that.
Yeah, the reason I was bringing that up is because we've had this kind of thing sort of slip up on us in the past.
I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
So if he works 5 days a week for the school system, so you're gonna work weekends?
No.
Well, no, what would happen is.
Not necessarily so.
Is if I work like the past 2 weeks, I work from school. So I'll turn to the treasurer, I'll turn my school payroll in. And then if I work the next 2 weeks, because they're off,
While school's on break.
Right, yeah.
I'll work a full-time schedule through the sheriff's office. And then I'll turn it into them in the fiscal, the sheriff's office. That's how they're keeping the budget. And then the Board of Veterans.
Board of Health reimburses us for his
Oh, I
salary.
know that, but.
And here's the thing, if I can add this in, with the school board and with us, I mean, whenever John Paul was here, John Paul was an SRO. That was it.
Period.
Today, I was on Beach Grove. We had an incident with a guy under the influence of drugs behind the county attorney's office. So by the time I would have got back from Beach Grove to have got this guy, he probably would have been gone. So I called him. He left the school, came down, got him, processed him 10-15, put it in city jail, and he's in jail right now. So that's the good thing about, that's the plus. So if there's anybody on the fence about any of this, we need to go ahead and consider that, because Debbie's been real good with that, and Sandra too. They know that we need more than just somebody to sit at the school and watch the video.
And that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna kind of put my position, me in your position, saying if I've got an asset I can use, I'm
Absolutely.
gonna use it.
And Walter and myself has already had a discussion, because there's a lot of times whenever Casey's not out, not so much anymore since he's come on board, but the first times, like on a Sunday, and I get called out, and I've got a domestic, and I've got a trooper 2 hours away in Powell County, I can call him, he can come right on and go help. So he's willing, he's young, he's a lot more agile than I am, he's willing to go and do the extra mile, but I think he needs to be, definitely make sure we compensate him for that and take care of it. And I
So
think
I'm
it's
about to
gonna work.
work you like a barred mule. You ready for this?
I'll do whatever you pay me, I'm doing it.
Just wanted to make sure we didn't do anything.
He's got now he's got all these POP certification, he's POP certified, which is the biggest hitch of getting into the school is having your POP certification. All he has to do now is do his 40 hours online SRO. He may have to go to Richmond for a week to do the SRO training, which is pretty much, they just re-emphasize on not just the law side of it, but dealing with adolescents, with kids and stuff like that. So that's the only thing, that he is certified, he's bona fide, he can be in that school, taking care of business right now until he goes through his POPs or his SRO training.
And that SRO training ain't required unless you're doing it outside of 12 months, so I have at least a
Yeah,
year.
we have a time frame that we
Just like
don't have to
any
rush and jump into
It's
it
just
right
something
now.
I have, and even if I'm not on that, like, I'll forever have that training, no matter what I do in 5 to 10 years from now. It's just like an insert, it's something we gotta do once a year to maintain
You
my
re-up,
certification.
yeah, you just re-up, that's all you do.
I want to add before I ask you to consider, by this time, Emily, your motion's dead.
Sorry.
But, I want to add that part of Deputy Brandle's salary was assisted through a COPS grant that we filled out as an end. We're going to apply for the same additional monies if we can get some. I don't know if we can, if the government will allow that, but I'm going to apply for that money in the spring when it opens up to see if we can get the assistance from the government for Deputy Cracy's salary as well.
Now for Casey, that was for running 3 years, 203,000, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you can apply for that again for a separate
We're
deputy.
going to try.
Okay.
We're going to give it a shot.
Okay, perfect, that's great.
If it works, it works, and if not, we at least try it. I would have never, I won't say never, I'm just really glad that we've got a second deputy that can work again.
Absolutely.
I'm glad for the sheriff, and I'm glad for.
I'd like to see a third. I hate to be greedy, but I like to see a third. I mean, it's not for my benefit, it is for my benefit, but it's for everybody's benefit. Because the more bodies you have in these cruisers and the more people out here on patrol and up and down these hollers, the more of a presence you got, and the less likelihood of having stupid things happen to good people.
Ray, has he got a cruiser? Which one's he gonna use?
He's going to use the same one John Paul had.
Okay.
We've already got him set up with that.
Okay.
Emily,
Yes, sir.
if you would be willing to make that motion again with
Do I need to
these,
be specific with anything?
with the salary.
Okay, I make a motion to approve Walker Grace as the Elliott County School Resource Officer with a salary of $18 an hour, is what you're saying?
Working for when he works for the county.
When he works for the county.
Second.
There's a motion by Emily with a second by Pam. Is there any further discussion there? With that said, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome aboard again.
Welcome aboard.
Deputy Craig.
Good work, Ray.
Well, working like a mule.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Number 4, approve the American Rescue Plan Act resolution. Fiscal, you want to speak on that?
Yes, this is the premium pay that we paid, I don't know, maybe August, September, something like that. We done the 911 employees, the road employees, and we sent that to Compass Municipal Advisors, and RJ Palmer had said that he would like for us to also approve this resolution to allow us to do that. It's just to get us in compliance with what they want. We're not given any other funds or anything, it's just to backtrack on the paperwork for the initial payment of the premium pay.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Motion by Charles, and a second by Brian. Is there any further discussion? With that said, all in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's have it. Thank you. Number 5, approve the first reading to discontinue maintenance of Nellie White Road. Cheyenne, do you want to speak to that?
I spoke with the lady, she reached out to me concerning, I guess, how it actually got named that in the first place. And I said that was before my tenure or your tenure, and she said she'd like to have it, her words, removed. But I said, well, we just discontinued. She says that they had bought property from all the heirs, so she is the sole property owner. And she would like to have it discontinued. And as soon as possible. I told her if we go through a process, could take a minimum of a month to do this, so I told her we would talk about it tonight and get the ball rolling.
This is if you turn up Hurricane and then turn up Gillen Branch, and about 1.5 miles up Gillen Branch, Nellie White Road is up the road on the left. It services one residence, and that's all. So that's what the holler is deep, if you will, but it's more of a sportsman's area. I would dare to say that about anything else. So I have no disagreement whatsoever, as long as you're in agreement to begin the process.
I'll make a motion, we start the process on discontinue partially maintenance on Neely White Road.
The resident that lives there, that's the one that wants it to,
See, that's the residence. At one time, it wasn't occupied 24/7. That's the individual who owns all that now, right? The road, there's one residence there.
See, there's one house in it, and, you know, I've been up that road several times, and I know there's some people living, I don't exactly know their name, but somehow the lady had reached out to me, and I was, okay. I said, yeah, I know what you said. I don't know how it got on there. I went and took off. I said, we'll get it took care of it. I told her a month from now, I'd let her know what the outcome was.
but that's the woman that wants it off, right?
I can't say yes or no, I don't.
Well, that should be determined on the visitation of the two, or process. If we follow through the process, it'll make the determination whether it can be discontinued or not.
Well, it would still be discontinued if you have a resident up there.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that when we go through our process,
I
that,
understand the concern that
yeah.
you're hoping that's the person that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if somebody lives up there, they may not want it.
Yeah, that'll come out in.
I'm not saying that anyone is living there, I'm saying there's a residence there.
Yeah, there is a house, and it is livable, and I'm sure someone's in it right now.
I have never been on Gillen Branch and seen a resident there. Just saying, I don't know I know there's a residence there, I've never seen
Yeah,
a
I've been
residence
there,
there.
there've been people there. I
Okay.
spoke to them. But
I believe if they follow through on the process of that,
Agreed.
it'll show its own self, so.
I'm gonna second that motion.
there's no benefit as far as, you know, like a green branch that passes through to another road, it just, it
Shot me
ends.
like
In
Emily.
other words, there's no public purpose that the road is serving at this time.
Just the landowner.
Right.
I have a motion by Charles and a second by Brian. Is there any further discussion there? With that said, all in favor, signify by saying aye, please. Any opposed?
Is the court?
I had my nose just about under there.
Are you going to take up the idea of the court appointing two disinterested viewers to go look at the road?
So they would make that motion to do so, to order me to do so. Okay, I need you to entertain the thought of making a motion to ask me to appoint two disinterested parties to go view the road.
That's what the statute says, that's what
Yep.
your admin
Yep.
code says as well, that two disinterested.
Yeah, there's a
viewers
process for
Be
it.
appointed by the court, not
Yes.
court appoints.
Yeah.
Make a motion to appoint two disinterested parties to go look at the road.
Second.
Have a motion by Emily with a second by Pam. Is there any further discussion on that? With that said, all in favor, signify by saying aye, please. Thank you. Number 6, approve to use emergency state aid on E. Winkleman Road and Ison Creek Road. I received a call from the resident, one of the residents, on A. Winkleman Road. She asked us to come out and view her road. Rodney went out yesterday. He noticed that the road had slipped. Today, the road has slipped even more. When they got to the creek, there's a toe of clay and mud, and the road is washing itself out. And it's A. Winkleman Road is on 755. Ison Creek Road, it's a spot right past where you turn to go up Hamilton Branch, just beyond the Castle residence. That road is also slipping into that creek. And the residents up through there are asking for that to be repaired. I feel like these constitute what we would consider an emergency, because if we go through other avenues, especially the Andy Winkleman Road, that may go within days, and that would then trap some citizens up that road. just like what we did for Pruitt's Fork a couple of years ago. I don't want that to happen. So I would like your permission to move forward with the emergency request to the state to use 80-20 money, state aid, to help us get both these roads repaired.
So moved.
Second.
So a motion by Cheyenne and a second by Emily. Is there any further discussion? With that said, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Thank you. And number 7 is acknowledge the Eastern Kentucky Correctional Complex for their efforts with inmate labor. I want to throw a shout out to Warden David Green. He has sent inmates over with a guard to us the past several weeks at no charge to our county, and they have painted the county garage. They have pulled steps and rotten bridge timbers out from in behind the Laurel Gorge down on the creek bank. And that was, if you've been down there, you're looking at almost 100 feet of that they took we took chainsaws to, I'm sorry. We cut them, the inmates then packed them all up out of there, put them in wheelbarrows, wheelbarrowed them all the way down to the cultural center, and then we trucked them to the dumpster where the inmates put these old rotten boards in the dumpster. They've also helped us with firewood. We have went and cut wood on the side of the road, brought it in, and the inmates have done a great job of splitting that wood in the garage and stacking it to our satisfaction. And they're still working. They helped us do several things today. And I just want to thank the warden just for a minute and tell Warden Green that Elliott County truly appreciates him and the efforts that he's allowing his inmates and his COs to offer Elliott County, especially right now as we're still going through the process of paying some bills to get the ice storm put behind us. And it's labor that we would have had to taken off of our county roads and other areas. He's taking that off our plate, and I just want to say thank you, Warden Green. Thank you. Big help to us. Number 8, approved to pay for new plumbing fixtures and installation at the courthouse. We have a urinal and 2 toilets that have one urinal in the downstairs area has not worked in a long time. We have 2 toilets that leak. One is downstairs, one is upstairs, and we want to get those repaired. And I want to put the infrared flushers on all toilets in this facility. So we went and got 2 individuals, 2 companies to come in and give us proposals. One came in today during the Zoom call, and so you have one proposal here from Mark Adkins, who is a Elliott County resident, lives in Elliott County, lives out on Bear Ridge, 2527, and then you have a estimate here from Workman and Sons Plumbing out of Ashland. And basically, it's to fix the urinal downstairs that isn't working and replace it with a new urinal, and to fix the other 2 toilets that are in the facility, making them not leak anymore, and to replace all toilet flushers with what you see in a lot of businesses where whenever you're done with your business and you walk away, it flushes on its own, you don't have to touch it. So AOC, as long as they approve it, that's 80-20, right?
It's pretty close.
Pretty close to 80-20, and AOC kicking back in what we pay.
$2,275 difference is that.
I want to throw out there that you do have an in-county resident who has his own plumbing business. I understand that there is a cost difference, but I want to make you aware of that also. And these are funds that will be partially reimbursed.
How do they compare as far as apple to apple? From what I'm seeing, I can't make out.
Well, I was trying to figure out.
Mark did not itemize his whenever he said.
I don't know what he's got compared to what the second bid's got.
This was what was turned in, yesterday I was in a meeting, and this was turned in while I was absent. I can go back and ask Mark to itemize, if you like.
Well, he should have bid the bid off of what, same as these. I mean, we've only got so many urinals, we've only got so many valves, we've only got a certain amount of things.
That's correct.
I would assume they both,
Then your Workman Son has a rock water construction clause. If either are it, there will be an additional charge on the second bid.
Yes.
I shouldn't hit rock or water doing that.
should be. You wouldn't
I wouldn't
think.
think.
That's probably the reason the other they're working good, you had a rock in it.
We're responsible for 20%, roughly.
Yes.
They'd roughly, what, $2,300 difference in bids?
$22.75.
2275. Wasn't bad.
None of them here are.
Workman and Son, we would be responsible for $915. What would that do? Workman and Son, we would be responsible for $915.
Can't hear it.
I didn't understand.
Say it one more time, Dave, sorry.
Pay them, get them for me.
Oh, for the workman's, plumbing?
Yeah.
We would be responsible for $915, our part.
Atkins would be $1,370, make a little bit pallet.
But you're saying that's the cost of.
That's what the county, that'd be 20, if we get 8% reimbursement
So
on 20% of those. I'd say we go with somebody local for $400. So,
How many flush valves and how many we gonna need for the How many?
Says 16.
Well, I already got a
Is that
bid.
through everything?
This bid says on all of
That's
it.
here.
Yeah.
Is it
Just
just
this
one?
building. Just those.
one year old.
One says all, one says 16. Do we have any references or anything from Atkins Plumbing? You know he's local.
Says he's fully,
Fully
insured
insurance
licensed.
license in the state of Kentucky.
He's a local, he does residential plumbing. He also does commercial plumbing as well.
What about the workmen? Know anything about
Workman
them?
Sons is out of Ashland.
They're the guys that drive around in old ambulances.
They're a pretty good sized bunch.
They're a good sized company.
Yeah. What do you think, Jody?
Just a $400 difference between the two. I'd rather go with the lower.
I'm looking myself.
But you gotta stay where you can.
I'll make the motion to use Atkins Plumbing.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Cheyenne, with a second by Emily. Is there any further discussion? With that said, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Me.
So noted. Thank you. Considerations of bills and transfers. Number one, approve paid and unpaid bills.
Judge, Magistrate, if y'all can excuse, we have a ball game up here at Morgan County, tends to get a little rowdy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We're going to go
I
up.
would've never thought.
Are we not rowdy enough?
No, you all ain't raising enough ever. You need to get with the program if you want us to stick around here.
All right.
Appreciate all the stuff and stuff.
Give us the-
Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you all. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
You need help, right? Just come get it.
You might as well just come on.
See y'all.
Make a motion.
Second.
A motion by Dewey, with a second by Cheyenne. Is there any further discussion? With that said, all in favor, signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Have it, thank you. Approve interfund budget transfers.
The first page there are the budget transfers, and the second two pages are the interfund cash transfer. And I'm asking to transfer $25,000 to the judge, and from the general fund, and $5,000 to the LGA fund from the general.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Emily, with a second by Brian. Is there any further discussion? With that said, all in favor, signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's have it. Number three, approve to pay Dustin Kelly for incentive training.
Make a motion to approve it.
Would you like to second that, Pam?
Second.
Motion by Brian, with a second by Pam. Is there any further discussion? Let's sit all in favor, signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Communications from other county offices. We did receive an EMS balance sheet submitted.
I'll say this too, in my report, Billy kind of asked me to do that printout that I give you all, usually by budget time, that shows what's happening for all the fiscal years, like for 2016. That is behind my normal report, I'll put that in there. That's why.
So you're 21 and 22. That's what come in thus far. On the,
So it's about half.
make a motion, we acknowledge.
Second.
A motion by Dewey, with a second by Emily. Is there any further discussion? Let's sit all in favor, signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion to adjourn.
Opposed?